Okay, and finally we have the North region, and this one makes me a little bit sad. It's Jaws versus Minority Report. Because I actually really enjoyed Minority Report. I thought that was a fun movie. Isn't it a Philip K. Dick novel?
Yeah.
And I mean, he did the Blade Runner and all these other just iconic sci-fi stories. I thought it was just a really, really, again, Tom Cruise just can't do sincere. And I think that's why it didn't work with the kids in War of the Worlds. When he's crying at the end, when the girl like tells what the future of the kid was, it was so just like contrived and felt just, put on. It didn't feel like he was like actually feeling any emotions. He felt like he was. I mean, that's what it felt like to me. It was just like, this is just schlocky acting. Tom, just stop it right now.
Probably why he's so good in Rayman.
That's right. But I mean, Jaws. Again, talk about building mood. Except for, I haven't seen Jaws since I was a kid, and I rewatched it the other day. And I forgot that opening scene, and I was screaming with laughter because that whole scene with her in the water is straight from Ace Ventura when he falls in the fucking shark tank. And I was just in absolute stitches, killing myself laughing. I'm like, oh my God, yes, that's why he did it this way. He almost did it like shot by shot, like with the whole, and if you talk to anybody who's even remotely familiar with marine biology, none of that would have been happening. So like, Ace Ventura's reenactment of it is way more accurate than hers. Yeah. That like parallel shoulders above the water, and the shark is just dragging me left to right like a fucking choreography number. No.
Yeah, the shark takes one bite, spits you out again.
Pretty much. Yeah. So, but I mean, everything, like the whole just conversation about the USS Indianapolis, Quint, Robert Shaw as Quint was just magnificent. Young Sean Quigley or young Richard Dreyfuss, either or, they're twins, if you ask me. It was good. And Roy Scheider was fantastic.
Yeah.
Really, really, really good. So, I mean, it's an easy choice for me. I'm just sad because I actually really enjoyed Minority Report. I thought it was just a good movie.
It is a great movie. It's a really good movie. I love Minority Report a lot. It's a very... It introduced Colin Farrell. Made Colin Farrell, that movie.
Yes.
And a lot of things. It really brought that genre back into that Philip K. Dick thing. It really polished it. There was a whole series of movies that came out. Everyone was scrambling to get their hands on a Philip K. Dick.
Hold on. This conversation is getting really... First of all, you're polishing something, and now everybody's trying to get their hands on a dick. What's going on here?
Oh yeah, everyone's trying to get their hands on just a little.
A Phil Dick.
The problem, there's too many little dicks. That was the issue with it. Is he wrote very low, mostly short stories, so everyone's scrambling, fighting over these tiny little snippets of dick.
It's the Irish curse. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. All right, so your vote then?
Yeah, Jaws. I mean, it's Jaws. Jaws is amazing. Jaws was in my wedding vows.
Is it really?
It was in my wedding vows of, things I promised, blah, blah, blah. We did our own vows, me and my wife, but we didn't know, we didn't read each other's vows. And in my vows, I said, my joke vow was, I promise I won't make you watch Jaws. And in her vows, she said that she actually would watch Jaws because this was a thing that we'd gone back and forth. Okay. And it was this whole thing of like, what do you do now? It cancels each other out. And I was like, well, I said I wouldn't make you, and you said you would, so.
It's a double negative, so she has to watch it now.
So she did. She watched Jaws. So she did watch Jaws, and she was absolutely fucking terrified. But the fact, my wife doesn't like old movies. Like, she gets bored. She has this filter. She didn't really watch movies growing up as a kid. She read books. What a fucking dork. And so she struggles with...
Can I just point out something here? Like on the bottom of Sean's screen here. It's Andrew Albiges, it's Thelma Loverick, and it's Emily Heron. Wait a minute. Okay.
She struggles with the old movies because she didn't watch movies so many movies when she was younger.
Right.
To watch an old movie is weird to her because it's just like this. Why would I watch a movie that just doesn't look good? Like it just looks old. Why does it look
Right.
bad? Ugh.
Right.
It's like a kid watching a black and white. That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah. Yeah.
her movie that looks like it's from the 70s or the early 80s to her. She can't get through it. So the fact that she managed to be terrified of Jaws and be shows you for someone that doesn't even like movies so much and did not want to watch it and doesn't,
Yes.
it works. Like
It works. Absolutely. It totally works.
Oh, it's such.
Anything to add to this choice, Andrew?
I'm sort of with you guys. I think everything you said about Jaws is right on. I mean, it's the movie that kind of made Spielberg. You know, that was I guess he made some movies before that, but really this was his first movie. And again, to go back to, you know, like we talked about with Jurassic Park, the visuals, the VFX, if you will, or whatever you want to call it, they stand up pretty well. I mean, there are a couple moments where the shark looks a little cheesy, but all in all, it looks unbelievable when you watch it today, knowing when this movie came out. Minority Report, I watched that for the first time probably in the last month in preparation for this. It was fine. I enjoyed it, but it didn't do much for me. You know, knowing it's Spielberg and Tom Cruise and all of that, I think, I don't know, it was just completely fine, but it didn't impress me too terribly much. So it's obviously Jaws for me. Yeah.
Okay.
I just remembered, I forgot another movie that's not on this that is very polarizing, but I think is a better movie than Minority Report in a very similar world, is AI. I love AI.
Oh, I never saw it.
Oh, you should. It polarizing. It came out, people hated it.
Yeah, I remember.
One of those movies you have to rewatch now, and I think it's a masterpiece. Like it was a weird one. Huh?
I was gonna say it's with Jude. That was Jude Law's big breakout movie, and the kid from the Sixth Sense.
Yeah, Haley Joel Osment, who's great in it, and he really carries the whole movie. Like he's the only one that's in it the whole time. Jude Law's a very small role, really time wise, but it's incredible. It was a weird movie because it was originally it'd been kicked around a whole bunch. Kubrick was doing it. It was a Kubrick movie, and then he died, and Spielberg picked up.
Oh, okay.
The movie, and he started. Kubrick like wrote it, or like he did treatment or whatever, and was in pre-production for it.
Okay.
And then he died, and then Spielberg, I think half of the fact that Eyes Wide Shut come out and hadn't done well. He was like, I'm not letting this go. And he came on and he basically took a big pay cut. He was like, I just want to get this movie made. I want to have the, you know, and it's so good. You get all the cool stuff of Kubrick. You get the sci-fi brilliance of Kubrickian kind of like crazy sort of stuff going on. Right. But then the Spielbergian character treatment and like
really I've never seen AI, so
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So our last of the first rounds is The Color Purple, number 12, versus Close Encounters of the Third Kind, number 5.
I'm gonna run to the restroom. You guys get started. I will be right back.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
What are we doing?
The Color Purple versus Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Unless you want to follow Andrew to his bathroom.
Well, I do also need to go to the bathroom. I'm not going to follow him to his bathroom because that would require me breaking quarantine rules.
Yes.
I'll be taken down by the National Guard.
Yes.
But this is the worst one for you to give it. This is the one movie I've not watched, Color Purple.
Really?
Yep. I was planning on watching it. And then, you know, coronavirus. And then funnily enough, it was the one movie that my wife said she would watch. I gave her the brackets and I was like, right, which of these Spielberg movies would you watch me? Because she doesn't like watching movies generally, and especially not the sort of movies I like. She's not a huge Spielberg fan.
Yeah.
But it was the one movie she was like, I'd watch The Color Purple because it's the sort of thing she likes. And then
she would like The Color Purple. It's a very hard movie to watch. Not because it's a bad movie, but because the the subject matter is just tough.
Yes. And that's why I didn't watch it, because we were going to watch it and then all this crap happened. And then and I've been every night being like, do you maybe want to watch that? She's like,
you want to watch something that's going to bum you out even more? Let's watch that, sweetie.
Like, oh.
All right.
Like,
So I'll wait for Andrew to come back so we can do our votes. But I'll start in the meantime. The Color Purple to me is a far, far superior movie to Close Encounters. Close Encounters, that whole thing that I was saying with Spielberg, where the story doesn't matter shit. Close Encounters is probably the worst of them, because in Close Encounters, the lead in, the setup was really great. With Richard Dreyfuss getting strobed by the aliens and all of that stuff, great. But then he's starting to go crazy, and they just don't bother with it. Next thing you know, his wife is in her underwear taking the kids, leaving, and all the neighbors are on the front lawn watching. And I'm like, when the fuck did this happen? What's going on here? I mean, literally, I thought Close Encounters was a highly overrated movie.
I'm just jumping in here, but I thought the same thing the first time I saw it.
Yeah, you go do your thing, Sean. Yeah.
Yeah, because really nothing. What I miss?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I completely missed that. Whatever.
You missed a full-blown crotch shot anyway. Because he's literally in his underwear. All right, go ahead.
No, because Close Encounters, I saw it when I was in high school, and it was, it's considered this classic, amazing sci-fi film. And I can remember seeing it and being like, okay, I get why people liked it at the time for the visual effects. The special effects are really cool.
Yeah.
But it's just some dude who nothing really happens other than aliens show up and he finds them, and then he hops on their ship.
Again, like I was just telling Sean, it's just this disjointed story. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
First they show themselves, then Richard Dreyfuss goes crazy, but in somewhere along the way, his wife takes the kids and leaves. Nobody says why, but the whole neighborhood's on the front lawn watching them have a fight, and the wife storms out in her 90. And it felt like it's only been 2 days, but I guess it's supposed to be like several weeks of him going nuts. But you kind of have to put that together. And then the woman with the little kid, the aliens for some reason can't just freaking teleport them out of there. They have to come in through the heat vents and the freaking back door and the doggy door. It was like, what the fuck is going on here? And then they give the kid back. It was like, why would you have gone through all this trouble?
Right.
This is going to make a great visual on our intro YouTube channel. This is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, and right, and he does he fall in love with the girl with the kid?
Right.
Like I was saying before, I saw it for the first time like when I was in high school. I rewatched it in preparation for this. I did enjoy it a lot more rewatching it now, maybe because of my expectations. But I finished watching it this most recent time, and I thought to myself, what is the analogy, or what is the metaphor here? Like, because it's not about aliens. Like, he's trying to, did Spielberg, and I have no idea if there's any evidence or history of this, but like, was he going through a divorce? Did he just have young children and they were driving him nuts and he was going crazy? Was this just like an artistic expression of all of that? Like, because that's what it kind of comes off to me as in a lot of ways. It's like, he has this very mundane life.
Yeah.
And the alien showing up and his like need, his desire, his like, he literally hops on that ship and just goes God knows where at the end of that movie. That to me was like, is it all just an analogy for like someone trying to break free from like a boring, mundane life? I don't know.
I guess, you know what? You gave that way more thought than I did, because to me it was like, it made sense. He snuck into the freaking landing area.
Yeah.
And then he's walking amongst everybody, and it's like, okay, I buy that because everybody's just, in awe of this spaceship that just came. But then, like, the dude is like, am I correct in assuming we have your full cooperation? And then they find him a fucking jumpsuit. I'm like, wait a minute, what cooperation? Why isn't he on the ground with somebody with an M16 and pointing to his head? What cooperation? Like, literally, this is what I'm saying. This is Spielberg was like, forget the story. We got special effects. Just go. Be a good character. And I mean, Richard Dreyfuss did a really good job of being this guy who's going nuts, but the story was shit. It was awful. Yeah. I thought it was terrible. I mean, I'm voting Color Purple. I thought Color Purple was infinitesimally better.
Yeah.
Even though it was a hard watch because it was just just like the subject matter was just so tough. I thought I'd vote Color Purple over Close Encounters any day of the week.
Yeah, Color Purple is, like you said, it's a tough watch. I saw it for the first time in prepping for this. I had never seen it before.
Wow. Okay.
But the acting in it is unbelievable. I mean, Oprah? Like, I know Oprah has been in movies, but she's amazing in it. Who knew?
I think she won an Oscar for that.
Did she win? I know
I think she did.
Nominated. Okay. It well-deserved, obviously. And Whoopi Goldberg is unbelievable. Danny Glover is just
great.
Horribly. He's just so awful.
He's just an awful person.
His performance is unbelievable. It was unsettling for me because I've always liked Danny Glover and everything I've seen him in. I've never seen him be this, you know.
Did you ever see Witness?
No, I didn't.
You got to see Witness, dude.
Okay.
Harrison Ford and Danny Glover's a bad guy in it.
Yeah.
Like, crooked cop.
Okay.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
He's not even in it that much, but he's just like really. It's like, because I was like, I think I saw Witness after I seen Lethal Weapon, so it was like, it's Murtaugh. I'm not what? Right. No, it's like there's no way. Yeah. And then I saw this movie, I was like, son of a bitch. She's like, what? Yeah.
You hear they've signed up another one, the Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. I saw that. That's gonna be interesting.
They're making another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Joe Pesci might be back as well.
Wow.
Oh, nice. And Mel Gibson, will he be back with a muzzle, or will they let him talk?
I think he's back.
Are they shooting in Israel? What's happening? I don't know.
In the realm of everything that's going on now, Mel Gibson's like, they're like,
It's true. He's a Boy Scout compared to these dipshits. Yeah. Okay. So who are we voting for then? The Color Purple or Close Encounters?
This one was one that was a little difficult for me to decide. I think mainly because Color Purple is a tough watch, and Close Encounters is one of those movies that's kind of held up as an iconic sci-fi. But being able to talk about it and talk it out, I think was very helpful. So with all that in mind, I'm gonna agree with you, Tomo, and go with Color Purple for sure.
Okay. Sean, is there any objection? I know you said you didn't see it, so
no, I haven't seen The Color Purple, but I'm sure it's good. I agree with pretty much everything you said about Close Encounters. I was really excited to watch it. I had not seen it before, and I was excited to watch it because I was like, sci-fi Spielberg, Richard Dreyfuss, I'm gonna love this. And the whole time I was like,
right.
It's like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
Right.
Stretched out, like, and not even a good one. Like it's like Space Jam, but if it wasn't for kids and it wasn't fun, like there's no basketball. It's it's like if you take Space Jam and just focus on the Bill Murray character in Space Jam. This guy just having an existential crisis about his aliens coming down.
Yeah.
That is a movie I would watch, though.
It's just weird. I mean, there were individual scenes that were good. Like, when near the beginning, and I really loved the scene where he's losing his mind, throwing the stuff out the windows. Like, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, when Richard Dreyfuss is being Richard Dreyfuss, is good. But I think the main thing that it doesn't hold up, and it's kind of untrue to Spielberg in many ways, is almost at no point in that movie is Richard Dreyfuss likable. Like, I don't like him.
No, he's not.
Right.
Carry a movie. I don't think Richard Dreyfuss can carry a movie because he's kind of inherently unlikable.
Mm-hmm.
Jaws is one of the only movies where he's kind of likable in that, which is ironic because in the book, if you ever read the book Jaws, which is really very, very good book, but very different from the movie. It's an entirely different story. The character, Richard Dreyfuss's character in the Jaws book, has an affair with Brody's wife. The whole
That makes sense.
the book is about infidelity. It's not about the shark. It's about Brody trying to prove something, having this Moby Dick thing because his wife he's obsessing and they're screwing in the background. So he's supposed to be unlikable, but actually they make Dreyfuss kind of likable in it. Mm. So I can see why he would cast it. Because he's like Dreyfuss, yeah, he'd be fucking around, like he would perfect for that, and then changed it.
He has a very well. I mean, Dreyfuss has that Napoleon complex that's kind of arrogant, so that's why they would cast him for that.
Yeah.
I think Sean just. Oh no, I thought he fell off the planet. But
no, it's my cat. I'm trying to get my cat out of the. My cat just jumped into the laundry basket.
Oh, stupid cat!
Yeah.
Get off the screen, cat! I'm allergic. Damn it! Oh. All right. So then we're going with the color purple. So, well, we're gonna have Jaws going up against the color purple. So this is our Elite Eight: E.T. versus Temple of Doom, The Last Crusade versus Jurassic Park, Crystal Skull versus Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Jaws versus the color purple. That's going to be our next round.
All
right. So now, before we sign off on this episode of the Best Tournament, what do we think about our beers, boys? The Brooklyn Brewery Bel Air Sour, 5.8%.
I was a big fan.
I have to say, I'm on my second one, so I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think. I'm not sure where I land overall with sour beers. I feel like I haven't had that many of them, but like we said when we started, I've definitely had some that don't even taste like beer. It's like what I get that we're trying to create different beers and craft brews and all that shit, but like you still want a beer at the end of the day. This still tastes like a beer, but it's got quite a bit of that sour and it's different. I really enjoyed drinking it. I'd have another one if I had any left. Yeah, I'm a fan. We grading?
Where do you go?
I think I'd give it like a solid 4.
Okay.
Give it a 4.
Okay. Sean, you want to go next, or you want me to go next?
I'll go. Yeah, it was. It's a weird beer. Like it was my least favorite out of the bunch, the variety pack that it came from. But I'm not a huge fan of sours either. Like it's nice in some ways because there's so many IPAs and stuff now. It's kind of nice to have something that's not just an IPA, like because it gets a bit much after a while. But I preferred it when I was drinking it earlier on in the week. I was just eating dinner before we started recording, and I happened to be drinking a seltzer that was cranberry flavored, a cranberry flavored seltzer, and I went from that to the sour, and it was like the same drink.
Yes, it does taste like cranberry and seltzer. It does.
I was like, it went very. You were saying how much it kind of tastes like a beer, and I just had the cranberry seltzer, and I was like, this doesn't taste anything like beer. This tastes like just another seltzer. Like it is weird, just weird. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of it. It definitely, like you said, it's definitely a better version of some of them. I've had more unpalatable versions of the sours, I guess. I'd give it a 3.3. I think.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, like we said at the top of the show, I'm not a big fan of sours, but that's because I only had like a couple of sours, and they're not. And the last one that I had, like I said, it was like pickle juice. It was a sour Hefeweizen, and it was just weird. This wasn't so bad. I was okay with this. It does taste like cranberry and seltzer, but I feel like if there's a little bit more sugar, a lot of ciders taste almost the same, like when you have some of the sour ciders. Going back to the old yardstick that we use, if you were at a barbecue and this is all they were serving, would you keep drinking it the whole time you're at the barbecue? Probably not. 2, 3, and I'd stop it there. that being said, I think I'm falling kind of in between you guys. I would give it a 3.6, I think, for this hour. All right. So there you go, folks. That's our first round of the best tournament. So we got a 4 from Andrew, a 3.6 from me, and a 3.3 from Sean on the Brooklyn Bel Air Sour. And like we said, we have E.T. versus Temple of Doom, The Last Crusade versus Jurassic Park, Crystal Skull versus Raiders, and Jaws versus The Color Purple for our Elite 8. And I guess that's where we sign off on this episode. All right, folks. So we'll see you soon with another COVID episode, right? All right.
Thanks. So.
All right. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.